Hi, this is Jerry from Breezy Valley. I had one question about the flail mowers, about how wide they were and where I got them. Well, if you measure the complete width from wheel to wheel on the outside, they're about 69 inches wide. The flail is actually cut a 48-inch cut, so we're talking, it's nearly 70 inches wide, but mows at 48 inches. And once again, these machines in their day were just amazing. You could pull this at nearly 25 miles an hour, cutting anywhere from 2 inches. You could raise the cut at 9 inches. They're not what they used to be. The Wisconsin engines are gone. They're now powered by these Chinese engines, and they used to have their own fuel tanks. They were independent. You could break them from the gang and hook it up to a bigger, well, this machine with the Wisconsin TJDs on them weighs over 500 pounds. You need a decent machine to pull it around. It'll push you down a hill. They're still useful. I still use them. I've had these things for almost 30 years. I got them from the county shop that they used to mow the airport. I bought them like 30 years ago. There's a gang of 3. This here you see 2. There's a third one that just managing 2 is enough for what I mow. But if you have 3 together, it's a real task to keep your eyes on what's going on. And everything for these things are expensive. The bearings, the flail shafts, the flails themselves. It gets to be quite an expensive operation. But they're amazing. They can cut in wet. It doesn't matter. They'll do it. And they're not pretty anymore, but they sure are they work well. And I don't know if you used to be able to adjust the height right here, but you can see the handle's broken off, and I just run them at like about 4 inches off the deck where they're mowing now. And if you want to see, I'll show you what the Wisconsin TJDs would look like, because they look nothing like this. If you want to come over here, this here is a Wisconsin TF. It's just like the TJD. The TJD is a later version of this. Same displacement, same footprint, but the TJD's crank is different, uses a different, the magneto is different. But this guy was built in 1954. And come on up here and get some. And it's I guess it's the Lincoln DC 180 AS is what this would be called. It has 3 different heat ranges where you can run, like real low temp, medium, and high. And this TF is rated at 14 horsepower, where the TJDs were 18. The TJDs spun a little faster, had higher compression, although this TF now has TJD pistons in it, 60 over, has a TFD head. It's a little higher compression than what came out of the factory. And one thing I've learned by messing with the old Wisconsin engines, I'll show you that this engine's cold. you never want to flood them. If you flood this, okay, I should back up a step. You gotta hand crank it. You crank them, you start them with this hand crank. It's got a simple magneto. You set the throttle up a little bit, and I've learned from experience never to get these things flooded. If you get it flooded, you might as well just walk away because because you're cranking it by hand, and this thing's like 54 cubic inch. But okay, I'll start it for you. I'm not going to choke it because I ran it like a week ago. There's probably a little fuel up in top. I'll just give it a crank. And even when you shut it down and you short out the magneto, you got to be careful there you don't get shocked. But what we'll do is set up here, and we're building a trailer. Come here once. Well, not building, but rebuilding a trailer. It's a light trailer. We're just gonna. The deck was rotted out. It needed a lot of work. We're gonna add some new webbing across the top and new boards, and we got to do some welding. And we'll weld first. We'll start out by welding this light angle to this light tube. It's like 1/8 inch angle with, I don't know, 10 gauge or something tube. Not a task for that at all, but that thing can weld from nearly sheet metal to you could burn. I've welded 1/2 inch together, and it's just that thing welds. Let's shut down and on there with 1/8 inch 7018. I'll turn the heat up some from what we were doing here, and just for show. Turn around. That one looks good. Once again, this is really light material. We're not looking for a whole lot of penetration on it. And we're using 7014 because it's light material. We'll use 7018 when it comes to putting the end caps on. But yeah, we just need obviously we forgot a couple. Need one more stitch here and one down there, but there you go. The thing is made in 1954. I have another one just like it, but it's older. It's 1952. But it needs some work. I don't use it because it's got a stuck valve, and this one I spent money on. I got to work on the other one. Well, hope I answered your questions on the mowers, and thanks for watching.